Hello and welcome back. Today I'll be discussing all the mutants in Stalker Anomaly and its mod packs, including EFP and Gamma. If you have any questions about mutants, feel free to come join me while I'm live on Twitch, link is in the description, or drop a comment down below. Mutants are a core part of Stalker, and I tend to find that I die on most of my runs to them. Therefore, knowing how to fight them is very important. In general, when fighting mutants, you'll want to be using either a shotgun or a gun which fires 357 or 45 ACP. Other calibers like 545 HP can be effective, but I normally just stick to the mentioned calibers. I personally don't recommend melee weapons, mainly as it requires getting up close and personal with the mutants, but others have said to have better luck. You can tell when a mutant has low health as it will do an injured animation when moving. This happens when it goes below a third health. Most mutants have a weak point which you should target to do the most damage. And finally, when you kill the mutant, make sure to skin it, as the mutant parts can be used in quests or sold for a decent amount of money to butcher in garbage. First up are Bloodsuckers. These are one of the first high tier mutants you'll run into, as one typically spawns near the Doctor in Great Swamps. Bloodsuckers' main ability is to go invisible. When roaming, they are visible, but as soon as they see the player, they'll make a loud screech and turn invisible. Within about 5 meters, they will be partially visible, and when they attack the player, they will be fully visible. They attack by either hitting the player or locking you into an animation which will deal a lot of damage. Bloodsuckers move fast and are quite hard to hit, but they are quite a large target, so I recommend using a shotgun against them and just aiming center of mass. Boars are typically found in packs. They are fast and can easily overpower you, as they are very aggressive and will attack the player on sight. They are quite big and relatively easy to hit. Aim for the back of their body, as shooting their head will deal less damage. The next high tier mutant are Bures. Bures will use range attacks which will deal a lot of damage and decrease your stamina. You need to be careful of this, as you can quite easily get stuck out of breath if you don't manage your stamina while fighting them. Their attacks can be avoided by breaking line of sight with it, but even when they don't see you, they can still chuck nearby physics objects at you. Their last ability is being able to block incoming damage. You can tell when they are doing this as they hold up their hands in the air and there's a pulsing effect around them. You want to shoot them in between this period with a highly damaging bullet such as 357 or 45 Hydroshock. Then return to cover until the shields go down. Repeat until they are dead. Make sure to aim for the head as it will deal more damage. Cats are one of my least favourite mutants. They are very aggressive and roam in groups, but their main strength is their fast speed and small size. This makes them hard to hit and hard to dodge. You have to keep your eyes out for cats as they make very little sound. Luckily, they don't have a lot of health and can be killed relatively easily with either a damaging round or a shotgun shot to the head, which is their weak spot. Try to climb to a high place, as they cannot climb most things that you can. Another stealthy mutant is the Chimera. These are one of the trickiest mutants to deal with, as most times you won't even see one before it bites your back. They have a lot of health and deal a lot of damage. Fighting a Chimera is kinda like a dance. You have to time your jumps with its lunges, jumping perpendicular to their attacks. Make sure you are not overweight when doing this, as the last thing you want to do is run out of stamina. Shotguns are good against Chimeras, as it's quite easy to hit all your pellets, as they're quite a big target. Controllers are probably the most dangerous mutant early to mid game. Their primary attacks deal side damage, which the resistance for is very hard to come by early on. The first one you'll probably encounter is the controller near the end of the miracle machine. You can tell when you are near a controller, as your screen will turn yellow and you'll hear a heartbeat. All of the side attacks require the controller to have line of sight on you. You can tell if you're about to be hit by an attack, as a high-pitched noise will play. When this plays, you'll need to quickly hide behind cover. This attack can easily kill you in 2 hits if you're unprotected. The last controller attack is periodically spawning projections, further damaging your sight health. You need to utilize all the cover you have when going against the controller. Try not to be caught out in an open field. Try to quickly peek the controller and get a few shots off before returning to cover. I recommend using 357 or 45 Hydroshock, as you want to be taking out the controller at range, which isn't really a shotgun strong point. Try to aim for the head, as it does more damage. Controllers can be completely countered by high psi resistance, but this can be hard to get early on. Dogs are very similar to cats. They also roam in groups, are very fast and can easily kill you as a group. They will also attack the player on sight, but if there is only 1 or 2 dogs, they are more likely to flee. They do make more noise than cats, so it's quite easy to tell if they're near. Again, like cats, climbing to a vantage point can avoid their attacks. Both a shotgun and SMG is effective. Fleshers are quite interesting, as they're not entirely aggressive. They definitely will attack the player, but can also be seen just running around ignoring the player. They are very similar to Boars and should be dealt in the same way, aiming for the back of the body as the head takes less damage. Contrasting are Fractures, which will attack you on sight. They are very fast, but their attacks are very easy to dodge. You just have to walk away when they attack. Shooting their head will deal more damage, but due to their speed, it can be very hard to hit them when they're moving. But what you can do is wait for them to attack, as they will stand still, making it easier to aim for their head. Due to their extremely high health, I recommend avoiding Pseudogiants instead of fighting them. They don't move too fast, so avoiding them isn't too hard. Pseudogiants mainly attack by slamming the ground when the player is near. This attack does more damage the closer the giant is to you. This attack also stuns you for a few seconds, making it harder to escape. Contrary to popular belief, jumping when the mutant attacks does not mitigate or lessen the damage of these attacks. When very close, the giant will try to melee attack you. If you had to kill it, either shotguns or explosives would work, although expect to use a lot of ammunition. There isn't much to say about the Karlik. They are very weak, they do little damage and have little health. They are pretty harmless, so my advice is to just shoot it. The Lurker is just a weaker version of the Chimera, but to compensate they will spawn in groups. They have the same attack as Chimeras, however you'll typically have to dodge attacks from multiple Lurkers at once, but they do less damage and have less health. Again, I recommend using a shotgun as they have quite a large hitbox. Psysuckers are very similar to Bloodsuckers, they just don't have the partially visible phase, so they are either invisible at a distance or visible when attacking. The main difference is the Psysucker spawns projections which should be dealt with. Otherwise, a shotgun aiming center of mass will do the job. Not really a mutant, but I've mentioned it a few times, are projections. These are spawned by Psysuckers or controllers, or can be found spawning naturally in the Miracle Machine. They are very easy to deal with, dying with one hit from anything. They will deal a decent amount of side damage if they hit you though, but this can be mitigated with a high enough side resistance. Pseudodogs are just normal dogs with more health, but they also have a bigger hitbox making them easier to hit. Psydogs are the bane of my Stalker existence. They look the same as Pseudodogs, but you can tell when one is near as your screen will flash and will go bright when close. When the dog spots you, it will spawn multiple clones of itself. These clones are indistinguishable from the real dog. The clones will die in one shot but will damage the player just as a normal dog would. They will infinitely spawn as long as the original dog is alive. To kill the Psydog, you have to kill the original dog. You need to try to keep track of the original dog at all times and target it first. An SMG is recommended as if you didn't see the original dog, you can quickly work out which one it is by hitting each dog until one doesn't disappear. Upon killing the real Psydog, all the clones will disappear. Next up is the rat. Snorks can be commonly found in underground areas such as Miracle Machine or Jupiter Underground. Their attacks are quite similar to a Chimera, lunging itself at you and dealing damage if connecting. Again, run perpendicular to the attack direction to evade it. Both a shotgun or SMG or pistol is effective due to its medium-sized hitbox and its head being the weak point. Tushkanos are rats that fight back. Typically found in packs, they will chase the player until enough are killed. Then they will flee. They do very little damage, but it can be deadly if multiple attack. They have very little health and will die in one shot from anything. Therefore I recommend an SMG with a high fire rate, or you can press F on them when near it to just kick it. Lastly are zombies. They aren't much of a threat, moving very slowly. They will try to attack you when near, but it's easy to dodge. You can easily just run around them. Either a shotgun, pistol or SMG is good. Aiming for the head will do the most damage. When enough damage is done, the zombie will go down. When down, you can stab it with your knife until it ragdolls. Killing zombies can be very handy as they drop useful medical items. So that was a guide to all the mutants in Stalker Anomaly. If you have any further questions, feel free to come join me when I'm live on Twitch, link is in the description, else drop a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.